So hello everyone. As you see, we are recording the. Let me just make it minimize that, of course. So we are going to record this session. This session is replacing the FDA. I would say class that we had earlier, of course. That's because you all wanted, majority of you wanted me to go over the CTD structure. We already had a discussion about the FDA. You also have a good presentation on what FDA does. Still, if you have any question, we can go over that next week. Okay, there's no problem. But for the CTD, this is one of the big things that you're going to do. Why? That's because when you're in reg affairs, we have patents, of course, to maintain. So you will be dealing with patents, with the maintaining of the patent, dealing with your corporate law officers. We call them corporate counsels in some companies, and you're going to deal with them. Why? Because we need at least one person. Usually we have two people. We need at least one person who knows about a drug, ins and outs. Okay, now you may say, but look, I'm not God. I don't know everything about the drug. Of course, you don't know, but when you are in front of your again, computer, you have access to or cloud computing where you have all of the information in the, I don't know, in the cloud, or you do have access to a document management system, which is online. A validated system where everyone will need to work on it. You have your desktop, you have your monitor, of course, your I would say station or your computer, but whatever is in your computer or desktop is not a finalized document. So you can always grab documents, save them, change them, modify them, anything you would like to in your computer at work. But when you are going to have a finalized document or a draft document that is going to go through a procedure to become finalized, you will need to save them all in the electronic document management system. Now I will tell you right now how it works. When you would like, I have it here, but I should maybe try to bring it to you next time. But I'm sure later. So here, this is a very similar say, a structure for your RA department. You go to your RA department, you will have several folders. One of them is about your products. And you're going to have one folder for a product where you are going to decide what you are going to put in that folder. Why? That's because you're going to receive information from the research and development, from animal studies or preclinical, from clinical studies, from corporate law, from distributions, from so many different departments where you have to manage the information. You may not write, for example, a clinical summary report, but you will receive maybe 200 clinical summary reports by email. So you have now to just do the management of those information that you're going to have. Okay, so once you have all of the information, the way you would like to in your document management system, you will now be able to start writing a document. Several documents. Now you may say, okay, now if I would like to write a new drug application in the US or a new drug submission, Canada, these are the same. Names are different, but I'm going to tell you where it's different. Where I should start? Okay, you have been having so many courses. We have been going over so many regulations. I know that. Okay, your professors were going over each and every paragraph of the regulations, explaining it to them. Hence, we didn't have time to show you the structure. That's why you are here today, and we're going to go over, okay, at the end of the day, how it looks like. So first thing is to go to your ich.org website. Easy. Step number 2, go to M section for multidisciplinary. You click here, and now you go to M4, ICH M4 for common technical document. So here, why you should go here? Because ICH is the International Council of Harmonization. This is from where we started to have all of the standards that we have to follow internationally. But I cannot say we have to follow. We need to follow because these are guidelines. But these guidelines have been embedded into laws and regulations in different countries. For example, if you go to Health Canada, they will say that we have a Food and Drugs Act and we have a Food and Drugs Regulation. In the Food and Drugs Regulation, we write that Health Canada is following the ICH GCP, and they refer to this website for GCP, which is E6. E6 is GCP. Okay, so we know that, well, I mean, as if you are in compliance with the regulations in Canada, you must follow this guideline. But Canadian government said you have to. Now, for GCP, for example, again, in the US, no, the US government, they decided to copy this good clinical practice and then to rewrite it, keeping the same standards, but writing it based on their own jargon, their own, I would say, the way that they are working. But so the same standards. And they did embed each and every paragraph of ICH-GCP into their food and drugs regulations. Okay, this is 21 CFR. Okay, Title 21 of the Code of Federal Regulation. If you don't, you know that of course, but this is you just go to Code of Federal Regulation (ECFR), and the very first link is ECFR. And here you go to title number 21, which is food and drugs. So from food and drugs, you are going to have several parts. So we say title 21, CFR part 1, CFR part 2, CFR part 10. You see, you have different CFRs. You have it for cosmetics, for biologics, for medical devices, for drugs. So when you go to chapter 4, for example, these are again, I would say parts 300 to 499, and the CGCP or the current good clinical practice is embedded into this regulation. So that's how we deal with ICH. But we know that if you have a certificate in ICH-GCP, okay, this is accepted by FDA. Now coming back to the M4. For M4, ICH M4, this is the common technical document that all of the countries following the good ICH guidelines, they follow. Why? That's because we don't want to have a country requiring a drug application, research application in different way than another country. That will become a chaos. So what happened is that in 1980, several countries, I would say this is a European Union with Japan, with United States of America, they sat together and they said, look, as of now, we are going to have at that time it was called Conference of Harmonization, international conference, but it has been changed to the International Council of Harmonization, where they were harmonizing, so giving the same standards to each country. Okay, so all of the countries, if you're in India and you would like to sell your drug in Canada, okay, you will have to apply for the registration of your drug in Canada. How you do that? Through the new drug submission, NDS. We call it NDS. And when you go to the NDS website, they will tell you that you need to complete an ECTD, an electronic common technical document, that we're going to see what is that exactly. Now, the common technical document, it has several modules. From where I am telling you this, what's my reference? Your reference is ICH M4. So let's go over ICH M4 together, and we're going to open that. Okay, so this is CTD. CTD stands for Common Technical Documents. Okay. So this is the CTD page. So here they are going to tell us that this is the structure of the triangle. I will show you again. You learned that. I know that you learned that, of course, but we will go beyond what you learned my first today. So we also told you that module 1 is not part of the CTD, common technical document. Why? That's because in module 1, this is mainly, this is administrative documents. So a country may say, I want to have a product monograph in module 3. I want, in section 3. I want to have, I don't know, the drug master file in the section 4. Okay, perfect. In other country, they may want you, the same documents, but in a different order. Don't forget that you will have all of the information that you need in order to complete these CTDs in your desktop anyways, as a Reg Affairs person. Everything will come to your desktop or to you, sent to you by email. You will need to read those documents and then to give them a pattern, classify them, put them into specific folders the way that you can work, so that when you are going to complete each and every section of the CTD, you know where to go, which information or which document to take, how to get the content. Sometimes you have a long document, but the content is just one paragraph of that. I mean, one paragraph for a section in the ECT. We are going to go over that. Okay, so module number one, if you would like to submit your registration to Canada, you have to go to the Canada website and then look into the structure of ECTD or CTD, module one. That's it. If you want to go to the US, you go to the FDA website, you're going to look into the structure required for module one of ECTD. That's it. Now, module two through module five, here we are asking you three main questions. Obviously, yes, module two, I would say, I know you may say 2, 3, 4, 5, these are 4. Why I'm asking three main questions? That's because module 2 is the summary of module 3, 4, and 5. So we usually make module 3, 4, and 5, and then we start doing module 2. Now, what are those three main questions for each and every regulatory agency? First of all, how you made it, how you can show me that it has been done properly, how you can show me that it has been done in a way that it's active. Show me the tests. Show me again the molecule of your drug. Show me the excipients. Show me how you made it, how you tested that, how you did test for the stability, how many formulations you have. Show me how you made those formulations. Now show me that you did tests so that those formulations are having active ingredients. This is what we want in module 3. In module 4, the main question is, okay, have you done anything in animals? Show me how many species. Show me what experimentations. Show me the protocols for the experimentation. So for each and every experimentation, you have a protocol, you have a different species, you do have different reports. Show them to us. That's what authorities they want us to do. So module 4 is for preclinical or animal studies. Now in module 5, the main question is, okay, did you test it in humans? What have you done? How many studies? What are those studies? Show us in different folders each and every protocol. Show us the results. Show us the statistics. Show us the summary reports for the clinical trials. And of course, give us some summaries for the pharmacology, for the pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, etc., etc. For the animal studies now, coming back to module 4, we will ask you if you did do any toxicology studies. Of course, it goes beyond that, but you understood? That's it. So even if that was your own country, okay, you imagine that you have a country on the moon, that's your country on the moon, okay, exactly. So when I'm going to sell a drug to you, you are asking me the same thing. So what you're telling me is it exactly what you're telling me? Is it the molecule that you made? Show me how you did it. Show me its effect on animals. Show me its adverse drug reactions. Now show me that you tested that in people. Show me the adverse drug reactions in people now. Now, how you are going to put the information? That's crazy, it's huge. Okay, information usually you have more than 500 different types of documents in a submission, and the submission, and you have to have a structure. Okay, so now imagine that you are having all of these different CTDs. Okay, now you want to do the 5, and we want to put them into a structure that will be easy to read and to evaluate. That's why we made M4, ICH M4. This is where what we have done is that We just gave you the organization of again, the ICHM4. So let's go over the organization. Of course, here, if that was a normal, I would say, straightforward, yes, my dear.
We are doing this ECTD 6207.
Okay.
We are going through each module in that. Yeah.
So should I continue or do you think that I should stop?
Actually, we are doing it because by module, so I don't know whether like you should continue.
No, many of those who are not going to take the course, they asked me to go over the CTD today. That's why. If not, if you think that I can ask everyone, if you think that I have to stop, then I'm going to go back to the FDA.
Yes, we are doing it. We are doing it. Actually, being covered module by module. That. Yeah.
So you want me to stop and you want me to?
Yeah, we can go ahead with something like. I didn't tell you in the beginning because I thought, but since why to you know. We don't. I didn't think. Yeah, but our advice is
Part of clinical research concentration 6207 is not there, the course.
I'm so sorry, I can't understand. That's why. Tell me again.
No, sorry, but she's saying that she has the course, but some of us do not have 6207.
Yeah, biopharma people, they are all having this.
Clinical research now. I know this is why. What I'm saying is that I know what you're saying. No, what happens that you're about, I think, 40 people here. And I received about 10 emails asking, and in the class as well, more than that. So many people, they ask me to go over this as well. So what I should do, should I ask everyone to vote for that? Because we are in the middle of the discussion and I am asking now to whether or not following with this. So are you okay with this or you want me to follow?
You can go ahead, no problem.
Are you okay with that too?
Yeah, because biopharma students, we are all having this subject.
Okay.
I think only clinical research and maybe medical devices, they are not doing.
Okay. Are you okay that I continue with this? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friends. Okay. So online people, so participants, are you all okay if I continue with this?
Yes, Professor.
Everyone is okay? Okay, look, thank you so much. Okay, so I will continue with this, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for responding on the chat. Very classy. Oh, wow, I forgot that. Okay, so we continue with this. So are you okay with that? We continue with the CTD as well? Because many of you, and you know
Yeah,
what?
we have.
Yes, but I don't know again to what extent your professors will show you. I'm going to show you a real CTD. The one that I did many, but I did the one that I made, so I think it's going to help some.
Yeah.
I hope so. If not, if you're not happy, I'm going to add another extra 2 hours of course to go over the FDA for you. Okay. So M4. So for the M4, you are going to open it, of course, and then you are going to say, "Oh my God, this is so much read." Exactly. And then you say, "Okay, let's build it quickly." Usually, one of these regulations, these are you actually talked about the objectives, okay, background. You can skip that. But if you have sat on that before, read them first, just overview the content. And then you will get into the meat, I would say. This is what is exactly inside. Okay, so here we will give you this structure, of course, module 1, module 2, 3, or 4, and 5. Module 1 is regional, it depends on the country. Then module 2, it would be a table of content and what is inside. I will show you what is inside, of course. And then module 3, 4, and 5. And then we will tell you how to organize it. This is a standard for everyone. We have one unique way to give names to those modules, to those folders. And then we will continue to show you this table. This is where everyone is mixed up. Because you say, okay, what does it mean? What I should do? What we need to do is first, you see here, it says you need to have a module 1, module 2, sorry, here, module 2, 1, it should have a table of content. Module 2 must have something else. I will tell you what. module 3, you need to have a section which is called 2.3s, and then you have to have 2.3s1, 2.3s2, etc. Then you need to have different modules. For module 3, you need to have a section 3.1, section 3.2.3, etc. etc. Okay, this is where you stay confused. Our friend is okay with that. So now what you should do is that I will show you just once. This is how it works. It means that you will need to create a building. You build a building with 5 floors. Each floor is going to be called a module. In each floor, you are going to create rooms. Each room is going to be called a section. Each room, you are going to put a specific document. This is a document that you have to prepare based on the content that you will receive from different departments in your company. Research and development is going to send you information about how we made a drug, how we tested for stability. They will send you documents after documents for this testing, that testing, everything. Who writes those documents? The content is written by research and development. But who is going to compile those documents that you're going to put in each and every room? You. Okay, so you may say, look, I'm sorry, but I just have a chemical engineering. Okay, if you have a degree in chemical engineering and you have the knowledge of the ECTD, you can definitely work on module 3 completely. And of course, talking about the summary of module 3, that will be in module 2. No worries, I will show you a full ECTD in 20 minutes, okay? I have to prepare your minds before. Now you may say, look, well, I just did clinical research, I don't know about chemistry. Okay, you do have a PhD or master's or bachelor's degree in biology, for example. You understand those biological terms, or you understand some medical terms as well. So for you, we don't want you to write those clinical summary reports. They are written by research scientists. We pay them for that. So you will receive the final product. For each and every of these sections, you will receive the final product, and you will then get the content that you need, and you create documents with the content, and you then drag and drop it into the right folder of your ECTD. I will create one ECTD, mark ECTD in 30 minutes. Okay, no worries. For now, I am preparing again your minds. Now, for module 1, you may say, okay, but what is in module 1? I will show you right now. Let me just go over next. Okay, we can go over. Why next year? Let me show you something which is easier first. For Canada, okay, for Canada. For Canada, we are going to have your ECTDs 000 because this is the very first ECTD that we make. When we are making this other version of ECTD, it's not as big as the very first ECTD. The first ECTD, or electronic chromatographic document, has all of the information. But when you want to submit a new product monograph, you resubmit the ECTD, but only you update the product monograph section. This is why the 001 is the second submission of ECTD for updating the product monograph only. You may say, but oh my God, there are so many folders here, how I can manage that? No worries. You usually create this, and then you put it into an ECTD builder. In the ECTD builder, which is a program, it will just upload all of the information, all of the structure, all of the documents. It will put them all in the ECTD builder, and then the ECTD builder is going to tell you which document that you did add is old, which one is new. You can now update your documents, and then you can compile your ECTD. It will then give you a big compressed file with 5 modules and one folder that we call utility folder, in addition to an XML. I will show this to you. Now, what happens is that the next time, if you want to update the monograph, if you have a new clinical trial, if you have something new, if you have the drug master file that is changed, anything that has to be changed, you can now drag and drop the new file into your ECT builder in the corresponding folder. And then the ECT builder is going to automatically hide. You can access that, but anyways, make it highlight the old one and keep the newest document in the system. Now, if you click on compile, the ECT builder is going to compile the entire ECTD, but only it will retain the newest document. So we don't send again and again and again the old documents. That's why 001 has much less documents. 002 has again much less documents than the very first ECTD. Now, when I open ECTD, I'm going to see, oh my God, I have my modules here. You see, module 1. So what is in? Oh, this is Canada. Do you know why? That's because Canada module 1 is based on the requirements of Canadian government. You could have another folder called US. You could have another folder called JP for Japan. And inside, you would be able to see a different structure. But let's go and see what is in Canadian structure. Let me see in Canada. Oh, we have all of these. But look, is it correct? Not really, because you cannot just get all of the information and dump them into this. So what happens is that for module 1, you can prepare your documents this way. For module 2 as well, you can just say, okay, this is all of the documents I have. In module 27 is all I have. This is a draft for you, okay? This is all I have, perfect. You just add anything that you have in these document, in these folders. And now, okay, done for this one. Now that you have done this, you're going to, this one, can I have this thing? Yes, the one next to it, not fast. And delay is I can also use that as well. There is a second searching for second. So I can show all of this. Yeah, that's it, perfect. Okay. So for my statistics here, what I do is that on one side, I will tell you what I'm doing. I am looking into my files. These are the example of files that you are going to receive. And this is your ECT. Okay. Now how we work? Easy. I give you different information. You have them on your desktop. You know that for module 1, you need here, Canada, I need to have correspondences. Do we have any? Oh, we have a cover letter. So the cover letter, you have it prepared, and you're going to just write it down. Okay, this is for them. So dear TPD, this is a cover letter that you have to prepare. You write it. RA writes this cover letter. Okay, you tell them this is the certificate, this is the drug, this is what we do, this is us. We are giving you this type of information. And now, again, please review this application. Perfect. So now, the second file is going to be the table of contents. Why? Because in M4, we told you to have, for Canada, table of contents. Okay, let's go over the table of content. Oh, here you are going to say this is our, look on the top, you always have this type of header. We call these documents well-formed documents. And here you need to put all of this different information with these exact names in each and every folder. So in module 1, section 1, M1, you have the table of contents. Then 1.2, you have to have application form, the fee form, certification, message form. For each of these, the forms, they are all on Health Canada website. You have to go and get each and every of the forms and fill them out based on the information that you have. Okay, then clinical trials and site information, you receive information from all of the sites. You have to prepare a table, we call that a tabulated summary of all of the sites. So you write site information, and I will show you again who is in charge, what are the protocols that have been done or followed, which investigator, etc., from when to when we had those sites. I know, it takes time, but that's why we hire you, and that's why you have a good salary as well. But don't forget that you start with $70,000, you end up at $100,000 to $120,000 per year, or in this type of jobs, okay, after 8-10 years. And usually people who are in RA, they stay in the job for more than 10 years. Go and look into LinkedIn, and look into regulatory affairs associates. You will see that many of them, they have been there for 5-10 years. Okay, it's not like other jobs where you usually change your job every 2-3 years. Okay, so establishment license. This is again, now, for establishment license, you must have one. So how you do it, you have to go to a kind of website, search for establishment license. Have you done that in other exercises in your program or not? Okay, no problem. Establishment license is just an authorization from Health Canada to allow you to manufacture or to package or to distribute or to store or to prepare, of course, your products. So for that one, it must have been done before. So here, what you have done is to have a establishment license. It costs is $8,000 something per year, and you must have a minimum number of SOPs. And you need to be inspected by Health Canada. When they come and they do the inspections and they pass, they will give you a certificate, a type of document, and this is your establishment license. Who has it? So this is what you have to put here. So you see, it's also a matter of dealing with about more than 500 different documents, and an ECTD usually takes up to 160,000 pages that you produce. Okay, you may say, how long does it take? 6 months, usually in average, for a drug like Sativex. Okay, and how many people you need? 3 people working. Now, clinical practice. So here again, compliance. Here you need to have again. Good practice, same thing for the good laboratory practice. So here how it works. Canada does inspections for GMP. You must have GMP. Makes sense. Canada. If you're in India, Indian government does it. If you're in Russia, you don't go in China, in Australia, the governments give the GMP certificate for the site. If you would like to have your GMP certificates as a person, you can now go to different colleges, private colleges, universities, wherever they give you those GMP certificates for individuals. It's like ISO. For ISO, we have an ISO certification for the site, where only notified bodies or bodies that are approved by, again, the ISO organization come, and they are going to inspect your premises and your management, of course, and procedures. They give you an ISO certificate for your site. But if you would like to have an ISO certificate personally as a training, this is different. Now, again, you can go to different colleges, private colleges as well, different institutions. They offer courses on ISO. So you can get an ISO certificate personally. Got the point? Different things. Because you may need that. So GLP same thing, good laboratory practice. We usually we make sure also that all of the staff are having their certificates. If you don't have a certificate related to the job that you're applying for, we will not even listen or respond you back. Because you must, if you're a professional and you're applying for a job, you must know what are the certifications needed for applying for the job. So when you're sending a request for a job and then you don't have the necessary certificates, they will not respond back to you because logically it means you don't know that you needed that. So here, for the compliance of site information, we are going to look into the training of people. So if they are training on GLP, GCP, everything, and again, who has all of those documentations? They are in your. Okay. How you can get those? You have to contact sites. So each site, they have you can go through the clinical research department or medical affairs department. Then you're going to say, I need to have all of this different information, the site information, the site certification, even for the labs, each lab has a certification. Each lab has a certification which is valid for 1 or 2 or 3 years. All of these different, what is that? These deadlines, they must be met. It means when you are having a drug on the market, if you're having a lab that is making your drug, that lab must be certified. So if after 3 years, the lab certification is now invalid, your drug that you're selling is not correct. You're not in compliance anymore. So imagine you don't have just one lab, you're having several labs, several manufacturing facilities. So each and every time that you have a deadline to meet, just to be able to reapply for a certification of 100 labs, okay, who is in charge? RA. Okay, so it's not just a matter of making those boxes or those folders. No, you can all do the ECTD, of course, we'll give you a lot of information, but then you have to maintain it. Even maintaining for the patents, maintaining for, as I told you, all of these certifications for people and for sites, this is a huge challenge. Huge, but you can do it, we do it anyways. So this is what Health Canada wants. Now, they want you to put in module 1.3, the product information. Now, the product monograph, where is coming from? Product monograph is coming from the investigators brochure. This document there is a regulation for that as well, where you can go and find it. This is in ICH TCP. It has a section for what should be an investigator's brochure. Now you may say, how I make it? It's written. You may say, but how I should make it for my company? You refer to your SOP of your company on how to write the investigator's brochure. In the SOP of the investigator's brochure, at the end, you do have a template. So you just follow the template. You have 200 products. You're going to have 200 monographs. Now you are going to write the investigator's brochure. But then when we are looking into ECTD, you don't put everything in investigator's brochure. You are going to remove many sections that are proprietary. You don't want anyone, you don't want everyone to know that, just those who know about the drug. So it's going to be a shortened version of the investigator's brochure that you are going to call it a product monograph. Now you may say, hey, that is good. Now when we send our new drug submission in an ECTD format, now you see that's a format, okay? How it works? How it works is that you're going to take up to 500 days in the US. In Canada, it's usually 1 year, 265 days, where you are going to have your ECTD approved, okay, if everything goes well. But then your monograph is going to change. You're going to have more information on toxicology, information on clinical trials, information on drug safety reports. So your monograph, usually we change it 4 or 5 times per year. So you always need to update the monograph. We also be in a phase where you're in clinical research phase, where you are not still at the level of ECTD, but still you need to apply for an IND. And an IND has a very similar structure than the ECTD. File Explorer. IND, where's my IND? Okay. IND, perfect. This is the IND CTD as well. Okay, here we don't talk about ECTD for drug submission. Here we talk about ECTD for application for a new drug investigation. IND. So here the structure is very similar as per ICH M4. You don't apply here for applying for registration of a drug, but just for getting the authorization to start testing a drug in humans. What is in M1 US, you see, it's not Canada. Canada doesn't have this requirement for IND. We have something that we call CTA, clinical trial application. In Australia and Europe, we have what we call clinical trial exemption, CTX. Okay. Also for medical devices, we have another exemption for testing. It is a medical device investigational exemption. It's another authorization to test your medical device on people. Okay, so now inside, look, this is different. You see how many things are here? And if you want to compare module 1 of this one and yes, if you want to compare the module 1 for a drug and for again for an IND, look, different. You see how many more information you're asking? Now you get the point that we need to follow the standards, but those we have different standards for different applications. IND is different. Drug master file application is different. ECTD for submission of a drug is different. Okay, as we also know that for medical devices, this is also a different procedure. You all learned about that aspect. Okay, so now that you see, look, we talk about forms, cover letters, fast track, okay, meetings, everything. This is for the IND. Now I close this one for now, and I go back to the table of contents. So here, that was module 1. Here I'm going to go over module 2. What should be in module 2? Module 2, this is the summary of module 3, 4, and 5. I will not go over this for now. I will go to module 3 and then coming back. So look, my friends, so far so good. So maybe you will prefer that I showed module 1, I will go over module 1, and then I explain module 2, and I show you module 2. Is it okay? Okay, let's go on there. It wouldn't change, but I think it's better for just visualizing what you are doing. So here, for module 1, for module 1, 1.1 is envelope content. We have it, we are looking at that. Then third party or application information. Do you have anything? Oh, do you have anything? Oh my God, we have third party authorization. What is this? This is you are writing a letter authorizing Health Canada to come and inspect each and every of your premises. Okay, but you have to give them that authorization. So this is what we do. Who writes that? You write it. From there, you may have an SOP on how to write this, or you are going to just find previous submissions, or you just write from scratch. You just write down that we authorizing Health Canada in order to come and inspect our premises, when or when applicable, or when required by Health Canada. Okay. So you have those things, those types of documents as well to write. Did I close everything? And this perfect. Okay. So now so now this one. This is for Canada, this is the form 3011. Nowadays, you don't submit 3011 on an ECTD. It has been changed last year. You do this online. But for the purpose of training, of course, I am showing this to you. This is the form HSC. Why doesn't it work? Oh, perfect. You don't ask, maybe you will. Address. It should open automatically. Oh, God. Perfect. So here, this is the form. One of the job aspects of your job is to fill out this form. So please don't hate those forms. Okay. In each of those forms, yes, they always ask the same things all the time. Who are you? What's your name, address, phone number? Again, what's your what is that? Your company? What's your job? Phone number, email, etc., etc. Okay. And then when high instructions. So now here, you're going to write down product class. Everything is, you see, we drop down menus, type of human submissions. Look, these are all of the applications that you can use through this. So part of your job is a drug identification number, application for a drug identification number, biologic, application of drug identification number of a pharmaceutical product, clinical trial application, CTA. So these are all things that we use through the ECTD. Okay. Then CTAA, this is for the amendment because you can apply for a clinical trial, but then you may want to amend. It means you amend a protocol, you amend, I don't know, yes, the protocol or maybe the site, for example. Okay, and these are all part of the RA job. So even if someone we are changing a site, we send it to you, to RA, to update this form 3011. And then to recompile the ECTD, and then to submit that to Health Canada. Only this, the page with the 2011 is going to be submitted, not the rest. Okay, that's why you will have section 1, 2. Look, you seem to be tired. Are you okay? You need some break or you're okay? Okay. Good. You're good as well? Okay, perfect. Look, by the way, for those who just came, we had to go over the FDA content, but since many of you said that you already knew about FDA, you wanted me to go over ECTD. That's why we go over ECTD. Okay. Still, if you have any question, okay. Then, so here the name. I'm going to give myself incorporation. You have to write the name, of course, here. Then the company code. You may have a code or not. Usually, you know that in RA you have a company code, and then the name. Etc. With it. Half of the form is really just the identification, okay? Regulatory address, phone, salutation, etc. And then company name, different submissions. Now look, what I show you is easy. But when you are going to start filling out this form, it may take 3-4 hours. Okay, because of the fact that first of all, you're stressed out, you have to read things 2-3 times. Then you have to look into, okay, where I should get the information, because you may not have all of the information. So you have to go back and forth, emails, phone calls, asking people, I'm missing this, could you please send it? And then you are going to look into, here doesn't mean, okay, you're going to look into what is if. Now, we may not tell you, or you may have missed in the email. So you may have to go back to, again, to the original development or to manufacturing. And then to ask them, okay, what's the container time? What's the package size? These things we all usually send it to you. But if you don't have them or to find them, you have to go back to the source. Okay, these are time-consuming things. I tell you because I did that several times. It's not straightforward where you have everything here and you just fill out. No, you still have to read, understand, and then look into what you have. Read, understand again, choose what you have to put, copy, think, paste, rearrange. Okay, and you repeat and again, oh my God, and you know what, you always have this feeling in your heart and your mind that, oh my God, maybe what I did was not correct. It happens to everyone. Okay, this is what we call being detail-oriented. Okay, but don't worry, it will come up with the experience. Okay, the first few that you will do, you're going to be so much stressed out, and the stress is going to make you more tired. How am I doing it? It's always multitasking. So that's it. So now I concentrate on technical savvy, okay, abstract, if you have any active ingredients, how you call that. These are all things that you're going to find. You're going to find in your document. So ingredients. Now here, this is also trade secret because we will send it to you, but you're going to deal with so many trade secrets yourself because you are going to find out the experience. The majority, all of the companies that we have, the branded companies, they have the API of active pharmaceutical ingredients in addition to the experience that they have for the stability, for many things. Now, generics, they can also come to the market after a few years, or again, if they see that show that the patent is not valid, and then they will also have the API. It's a copy. It's exactly the same copy. But the excipients are different. This is why even excipients are trade secrets. It's not just the API that may be a trade secret. It's not, because as long as we can buy your chemical, we can just, where we can find easily it's a formula. And we can also just get some organic chemists and asking them to find out the way to produce or to make that drug. Now, you may even get a patent on how to make an existing drug through another chemical procedure. You can. Okay. And where we have issues is dealing with patents with the vaccines, with biologics. With the vaccines, this is not an easy task because, first of all, the product is very complex. It needs also lots of investment. And this is why usually you see you don't have too many generic companies making vaccines. That's one. Okay. So coming back to this, make sure that you show that you respect the confidentiality. Copyrights, privacy of acts. These things are important when you are in an interview to show that you know about confidentiality. Okay, so this is just the form again, just say again, you have to just go over that. Right of administration. Okay, continued subs, chemical abstract, animal, usually take animal one. Now for the animals, okay, the right of administration, etc., etc. I cannot share this with you, but you can always go to Health Canada website, search for Form 3011. Hello, Form 3011. And it will allow you to just look into different sections of the form. As I told you, you may not find this PDF anymore. It's mainly online. That's the form. Now, submission. This one, the application form. Here. Now, you have to fill out the form again. Again, what you do, first name, last name, address. I know. You do it 100 times. Okay, but then again, you're going to see what's the submission scope, fees that you have to pay for. The fees, look, $437,000. Who looks into the fees? You have a fee schedule. Go on the Canada website, you will search for fee schedule. It's going to tell you how much is the cost. So for example, for the clinical trials, it's about $12,000. For the submission of new drug submission NDS, it's about it's minimum $380,000. Okay, $400,000. In the US, the cost is $1,008,000. Don't ask me why 8,000, I don't know. But 8,000, $1,008,000, and it takes up to 400 days before they respond back to you. But again, they don't wait 400 or 1 year. They will, it's not part of this, again, this what I'm talking about, I know, but we have a schedule. For Europe is different from the States, it's different from Canada. They have different committees, different steps in order to review your submission. So overall, within 1 year, you may be contacted by Health Canada several times. Maybe your submission is not complete. They will send it back to you. Oops, you just lost 45 days, which is not accepted. And then if something is missing or they have any question, they will come back to you and they're going to send you what we call a clarifax. A clarifax is a request from Health Canada to respond back to them, responding back within 2 days or 2 days. And CTD as per your request. Okay, as per because of the majority of the class. Okay, it's not going to go over the FDA that you already had in several classes. We go over the ECT. Good. So this is again another form. For each form, give yourself 4 hours. It's not just taking your first and last. Hold on. Okay, they may ask some permission that you even want to complete motivation. So back and forth with 2 days, it will take time. And don't forget that when you're writing this, any of these forms, you're not working on just one form. You're working on a big submission of 500-600 different documents only. So when you are applying for asking for a question, you are waiting. But while you are waiting, you are doing another thing. Now the second form or document, you are working on that, you have another question, you send it to another person and you wait for the answer. Now imagine 1, 2, 3, 4 is really multitasking. And this is what it takes time. Now, to help you to manage all of these complex tasks, what you can do is to use Microsoft Outlook. You can set appointments for yourself. But those appointments are going to be tasks that you're giving to yourself. If you're in an Apple system, usually we don't use it in many companies. They also have some type of reminders. Anyways, find a way for using a system where you will be able to allocate time to go back to the previous tasks and to complete them, because you're going to have 100 tasks. One after another one, but they don't all start at the same time. They don't end at the same time. They don't require the same time for focusing on working on them. Hey, I know. Do you still want to stay in the affairs? Of course, yes. I told you this job is not easy, because not only you have to be able to manage the time, you need to manage your relationship with your colleagues, because we have to help each other and we have to motivate them. You have to be a team player. Okay, you help them as soon as you can, and they will help you as soon as they can. That's my point. And of course, knowing about regulations, being able to understand those documents that you are receiving. And don't forget, we don't expect you to be God. So you are not going to know everything. You're going to have medical writers, technical writers. You're going to deal with many medical writers, those who are writing the summary reports for studies. You're going to go back and forth with them. But all of the tabulated summaries, summaries of all of the clinical trials. You may have 200 clinical trials. Okay. Summary of all of the references. We don't ask you, we ask you to write references the way that you write in your exams or your reports, but the same applies to each and every of the sections that you're writing. You need to provide references as well. And at the same time, you may also we may ask you to prepare a summary of all of the studies that have been done on your drug before we started the clinical trials. I know, I know. Okay, can you still smile? Yes, I hope so. Yes, of course, smile. Again, you are not alone. You are going to be a team of 5, 6, 10 people sometimes. But this is why we are going to hire you. So when you go to an interview, don't show that you are a novice. You are not. Show them, tell them that you know about the job. Tell them that you know about the complexity, about the fact that you have to learn all the time. You have to connect with people all the time. You have to stay aware of the regulations all the time. Tell them those things. Show them that you know for what job you're applying. Okay, yes, what you can do. Perfect. So I close this one. And this was just module one, this is 1221. Okay, perfect. But coming back, submission certification form. Here, you're going to just, again, you write it. No one else writes that. Okay, you write this. There is a package certificate form. You're going to say this is the package. We are saying that this is us, this is the product, and where this form comes from Health Canada. You must be able to always switch between sites and search for those forms in Health Canada. Don't save those forms on your desktop because those forms may change. When I was in the company in 2011, yes, I wrote a PSUR for products, periodic safety update, and then I send it to RA for submitting that to Health Canada. RA did use an old form of Health Canada for submitting the PSUR. Okay, and it did not look good. When you are making more than 5% errors in your work, it means if over 100 communications, submissions, etc., you are making you have missed 5 mistakes, it will trigger an inspection by Health Canada. Yes, they will not come to give you a hard time, but they will come. And when they come, we don't feel good. Usually, it's the feeling, not that they are evil. They are good people like us. They come to make sure that we're in full compliance. But in full compliance means that do you have the right employees? Do your employees have the right training? Okay, do you have SOPs that are updated? Do you have trainings for your employees? This is why they come to this state. So I do as well, I come, I'm going to give the Q&A or Q&A today, and I'm going to ask, yes, you're going to go. And now I'm going to say to Kay, okay, now, thank you so much, and let's have a meeting. The meeting at 8, 9, we are going to have a meeting with Health Canada, with QA, with RA, VPs, and the CEO. Yes, they come and they're going to talk about their company. This is company, that's what we do, these are the drugs that we have, etc. for 10, 15 minutes. Say, thank you so much. This is what we do every day. This is formal inspection. And then QA comes and you are going to talk VP. You're going to talk about the VP or director, VP for QA, director or manager of QA. You're going to come and say, look, this is the system that we have. We are in full compliance with this. We are having so many issues here. But you know what? Just preparing for this meeting is so stressful. Okay, so don't make errors. Please don't make errors. Because you will, if you do a few errors and if we see that this is you, this is the beginning of your end in that. That's good. Okay, so don't be stressed out. What I'm saying is that if we do an error or we delay okay, as well, you're delaying 1 or 2 or sometimes more because if it's a Friday and I don't submit that today, I lose 3 days because it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Okay, exactly. Okay, now you don't know what happens on Monday. Maybe people are going for a training or for a meeting. You may not find them. So never miss the deadlines, please. And that's why I mimic this with you with your assignments. We do all because we would like to push you to respect the deadlines, not because we are control freaks or we are old dinosaurs, because you have to get used, exactly. You have to get used to plan your time ahead. And it starts in the university here. So please don't hate me if I am removing some marks from your assignments. It happened to few of you, of course. It's just because you have to get used to that. Now, COVID being, I don't know, being sick, it's raining, it's snowing, whatever, you're right. But there are always some place for discussions, and we can always tolerate. We have to be arguments. But on the other side, it's also the business. Respect that balance. Can you really be in lines? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so make sure that yes, you deliver. You show that you're really ready. You take care about the company as well, and of course, the company is going to take care of you because they have to make sure that you're happy, that you're healthy, and everything is going well. Okay, so these are the again forms that you filled out. Now, submission certification form is another one, another form. Okay. I talked about 500 different documents. I didn't talk about the number of forms. Okay, you may have about 200, more than 200 forms to fill out. Each of them is asking for a specific information. And when you fill them out, you know what you do? You are going to, I just close that one. This is the content of your desktop. Okay, these are all of the documents that you need to prepare for the statistics. Okay, and this is on the here. No, that's it. This is your CTD for statistics. Okay, so now what I do is that I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to work on 23P7 container closure system. This is a short document that will go to 23P7 module again. Sorry, 23P7, and here you just add the description of the container. This is the description. Anything else? No, you don't need anything more. So you are also now looking into a very simple document. So some of your documents are short, some of them are letters, some of them are forms, some of them are 200-page reports. Okay, so much diversity in what you're going to do. Now, what you do now is that you say, okay, I am in sorry, that's one. I'm going to say, okay, I am in 23P7. So in module 2, 3, I don't know, okay, usually it should be in 237. I'm going to find something else which is the same. So here, drug substance. For this one, drug substance, this is a summary of chemistry and assessment, and 3S, this is just your document. So here, you just copy and paste it from a report. But again, you need to know what is needed, where to go to find it, read it, select it, copy that, paste it, review for the format. And don't forget, you have to make them all in PDF before you submit, you put them in your ECTD and you submit them. Now for PDFs, when you change from Word or anything else to PDF, you may lose some special characters. Maybe percentages or plus or minus, they will be changed to something else. So you have to proofread everything. I'm giving you an example myself because I'm also a fast reader and I know, I mean, I can, it comes with experience, okay? But each time that we were sending, that was in 2008, 6, 7, 8, we were sending, at that time we were sending CDs, okay? They were given to me to review those CDs. I had to review 3 CDs with the same information, but I had to go over each and every document for reading. I had to proofread everything to make sure that everything was done properly. Can you imagine the craziness of that work? I was doing that, okay? Now we don't submit that 3 times, but still we submit it once. But when we are done, someone has to proofread it as well. Because we always make mistakes, and if these are mistakes, if you have a sign plus minus that is now a percentage or something else, Health Canada is going to send it back to you. They will stop the clock, And then it means that if you submitted your a new drug submission, I don't know, 6 months ago, and you're expecting to get a result, a response, evaluation response in 4 months, you will not get in 4 months. The clock stops. And we are going to send you back that document, and we say, can you correct it? Now imagine you receive it to the VP, we have so many emails as well. The time that they find them, the email, then they're going to find it, they will say to your manager is going to be upset, sending that to you. You're going to review that. Now you are having 6 other drugs to work with, but you have not to update this one. But you have to go back to the 6 months ago to see what was the document. That's how it works, okay? And finding that, checking that, updating it, then again to review that, and then send it to, again, VP for review, and then to resubmit to Health Canada. You think you will lose minimum 3 weeks. Okay, so it's unacceptable for us that we make any mistake. You feel that? Okay, so when I am removing marks, I know that, okay, or I'm telling you to really be detail oriented, this is detail. You may miss a sign, just a sign, and it's going to maybe delay by 3 weeks your application. And when you are dealing with a blockbuster, if you sell it at, I don't know, like COVID vaccine, for example, okay, I don't know how much they earn, but I think $30–40 million per day that they earn. I think they are one of the competitors they're making. Imagine that we are late of 15 days to go to the market, just for the money. I'm not talking about what is more important, which is the safety of people, but just for the money for the business is for 15 times $40 million. Okay, so pay extremely attention. That's how we are going to hire you and to keep you. Okay, but don't worry. I did that. You can do that. Okay, we can do that. It's not a big deal, but you have to pay attention. Okay, so simple, easy, easy. Some of them are very easy. Some of them they are not. I close this one, and then coming back here. No, this one for stability. 2, 3, S7. Why not? Oh, that's important. So here I have 32P8. You see here. And in 32P8, I do have several stability summary, post-upward stabilities, and the data. But what is that document? Is the stability? So here I do have 32P8, 32P8 stability information. This is what I have. So this is just this, okay, that's the stability. But for this one, it goes to P2. We save that, supplement that into PDF, and then we put it in 32P83. How you do that? You just copy this, and then you go to 3P. And here you are going to do that here. Paste. I just added a document to my CTD. Of course, it should be PDF, not Word. Okay, so now you understand very well that just close this one. I can put here. So you see that now you are dealing with so many modules, folders, subfolders. They can go down to 5 levels of depth. So we call that granularity. Granularity is the level of depth. Then we are talking about these modules. So with each module, as I told you, in a building, module 1 is the first floor. The second floor is M2. Third floor is M3, M4, and 5. Each floor has different rooms. We call those folders or sections. And in each room, you need, based on the ICHM4, you need to add the documents inside. Now those documents are based on, again, the module 1 for Health Canada. These are things that Health Canada is asking. If you're dealing with FDA, you have to go to the FDA website to get the list of the documents that you have to put in module 1. Australia, you have to go to Australia regulatory authorities. Okay. Good so far? Any question? Look, it's 10:20. Do you want to have a break now? Or not have a break and we finish early? Okay, so have a break. Okay, for a break. I will see you in 10 minutes. It's okay. 10 minutes, I come back and I'm going to go over the clinical trials and whatever you need to put in the clinical trials. It's also a big thing. Good. Thank you so much. See you in 10 minutes. Thank you so much for coming back, even if no one left the class. Thank you. So look, now I'm going to go over the clinical trials. But before this, many of you are going to apply for jobs in clinical research, I know. Based on your knowledge in reg affairs, you do know easily what are the regulations. You know very well that we also have IRBs or ethics boards where we have to have submissions with them as well. Usually for any study, we have to first apply or ask for the authorization of the IRB, the approval of the IRB of the study. So there are so many, again, regulatory files that you have to find for the forms and fill them out. They also ask for a copy of the protocol. They have so many checklist forms that you have to fill out, reading the protocol and filling out the forms. And then you have to send it to the IRB. And now you may have not one IRB, but several IRBs as well. Depends on if it's multinational, for example. And then the IRB is not going to leave you alone. They say, okay, now each time that you have any adverse drug reaction, you have to send us the serious one. So now you're going to send it to them. They may look into, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 in 1 month. This is too much. Now they are going to contact you, the RA, in order to now have a meeting or asking an investigator to have a meeting with the IRB in order to go over, okay, what's happening with your drug. So the IRB can put a hold on your study. FDA or Health Canada or any regulatory authority can also put a hold on your study. So as an RA, one of your jobs is also, it's not just ECTD, but first, one of the things is that during the clinical trials, you are in between investigators, the company, regulatory authorities, and sometimes the DSMB, which is Drug Safety Monitoring Board. Okay, we don't have it all the time, but we have DSMB, which is composed of several healthcare providers, not dealing directly with the company. So that's one of your jobs. Now, I'm going to show you now. That's it. So now you may say, okay, Payman, good that you told us that, okay, we can also deal with IRB. So what is in for me? What is in for you is that you can always apply for jobs. That would be jobs as trials.com. Imagine that you are in Toronto. Okay, for example. And you would like to see what are the studies out there. You just go to clinicaltrials.gov, which is a repository of FDA, but all of the studies where, usually many studies are also happening in Canada. I would say 95% of the studies that are existing in Canada are written also here, are added here. It must be that's a long. So we go here, and you see that we have actually 11,959 studies where they are happening in Toronto. Some of them, they have been ended. Okay, so I'm just going to click on not recruiting, enrolling, active, not suspended, not completed, withdrawn, Okay, I leave this. Even if terminated means that they have been terminated, but we are still having those studies, or we are still having investigators who will get other studies as well. So all you need is to click on this, so suspended as well, this one too, this one too, this one too, this one too, because you're looking into a job. So when I do this, I have like that. I will see that I have about 11,900 still on that one. For the age, all age results, like study type, any study results you may have, study phase, any phase, study documents. Okay, so okay, perfect. So now among those, I don't know, I just open one, any one, this database besides swallowing screen test. Okay. When I open that, it will tell me about the clinical trials. Look, if you are in RA, in biotechnology, in any type of, I don't know, subdivisions of this master's degree, it doesn't matter to me. You will all be dealing with clinical trials. Okay? Anyways. Now, in order to find jobs in the teams where they need RA people, or even people who are going to be able to work in pharmacovigilance and drug safety, because also something, or dealing with the ethics boards as well, we need RA people, people with RA background. So here, it talks about the study description, the study design. This is the protocol. If some of you would like to come to my class next term to tell you, beneficial tell you which class I am, you are going to write a protocol in my class together over 2 months. Okay. But this is a protocol. And then study population who is in. I will not go into details. Here, what I want, locations. You have these locations. So you have studies taking place in Hamilton, Parkwood, Sunnybrook, Toronto, Toronto Innovation Institute, etc., etc. And now you may want to say, okay, who is in charge? How I can find people? Here, usually at the end, you do have investigator. Look at that. Rosemary Martino, PhD. All you needed was just to find a name or an email in order to connect with them directly, telling them that you have a, anyways, cover letter, okay? You know, cover letter, you have 3 sections. Section 1, we never read. Section 3, we never read. You know, you say you would like to see in person, whatever. In the middle, you're going to write down, indeed, I do have this experience or this knowledge that I can bring to your team. And then put in the middle paragraph just a few bullet points, because we don't have time to read 600 cover letters. Okay, just put in bullet points. I can do data entry, I can do regulatory affairs, I can deal with IRBs, I can, what else? I can look into any other regulatory jobs or tasks that you have for your clinical trial. And then you submit, send this by email with your resume updated for the job to this person. Now, don't tell me, Ivan, what's the email? I don't know what's the email, it's not written. But if it's, but you can always Google the person, or you can always go on LinkedIn to find the person. Now, some of these buyers, they have, I'm going to just search for another one. They have emails as well. Do we have an email? No, we don't have an email. But some of them they have. Believe me, they have. It doesn't matter. Anyways, you just need a name. And now, as per GCP or good clinical practice, the person in charge of the studies is the investigator. It means that if you would like to apply for a job, you should first contact the investigator, not the HR. HR is having jobs that are posted. An investigator doesn't have time to just write down a job description, now send it to HR, going back and forth, post it, we're going to receive what is that resume, and then we're going to read 50 resume for a job. The best thing to me, based on my experience, is to contact those investigators directly. And how you can find those names through clinicaltrials.gov. That is true. You all understood this? Okay, so my friends, you have 11,965 job applications to send tonight. Sorry.
What percentage?
For the clinical trials, many of you know what is the clinical trial. For RA, anything for the application of CT, clinical trial application, for example, if you have experience in this, this is part of the job for investigators who did receive the lump sum and from a company, and they are the sponsors. We have sponsor, which is a company sponsor, and the sponsor who is that's a company. We also have sponsors who are investigators. Investigators, when they are given money from the company to conduct the trial completely, they become sponsors. In this case, they need to do regulatory affairs works. So for you, when you're going to write down what you are going to say, I have a knowledge of application for the clinical trial application, I have the knowledge for submissions to Health Canada, okay, or I have the knowledge, maybe experience as well. I have the knowledge or experience for going over what is that communication with the IRBs. These are things that you should have learned in your master's degree. We teach them, okay, my classes, that's what I do as well, IRBs as well, again, ECTDs as well, of course, this is one part. So usually you have the knowledge and some experience that you can write in your resume. Good. Okay, of course, you have so much. Move. Exactly, just run. Yeah. I was saying also to my friends, as soon as you start your RGA 6300, when you start it, you start applying for a job. Because the time that it goes, you is received by them, checking that, asking you for an interview, etc. It will take a month or two. Okay, so usually this is the time. So when you're in 6300, you're going to work with the sponsor, working on the regulatory roadmap that we're going to see together next week, usually. And then you're going to finish your RGA 6300 in 3 months. So you're going to graduate in 3 months. So it's the best time to start applying for a job when you start your RGA 6300. Yes, be realistic. Okay, they just one course. And it's also hybrid. It means that over, I think, 12 sessions, you're going to be in class for 4 sessions maximum. Good? Yes, plan ahead. Okay, so now coming back to this, why I talk about that, that's because we are going to deal with so many studies, so many. And we are going to deal so much with the clinicaltrial.gov for writing the tabulated summary of clinical trials. So here, this is again ICH N4, and I'm going to go to just module 5. Okay, sorry, here, module 5. So here you have to talk about that's a table. So here it's more simple than module, I would say 2 or 3. Here you have again 5.1, you put a table of content, then 5.2, 5.3, what goes inside. Now 531, you have 5311, 12, 13, 14. You may have 531, 200 if you have 200 studies. Yes. And for each and every of those studies, since there's a folder, you're going to put enough information as we are asking you to add. This is how it works. Now, 5.3.2, same thing. I'm going to show you again that type of folder. So this is how this is going to be done. Now let me go over M5. In M5, you have a table of contents, and the table of contents for M5 is you already have it in your files here. So I open that. You're going to write. We are going to give it at 5311. We give information on bioavailability study reports and toxicity. If you have anything, these are study summary reports on maybe 10 studies. So you're going to have 10 times minimum 50 pages to read, about 500 pages, all with graphs, with tables. You read really deeply, and you're going to now write a summary report, and then you are going to add it into this section. Okay, so if you are you're a chemical engineer, obviously you may not be able to do this. Okay, but we do have people in biology or in medical, of course, in clinical research department, clinical research have a background who can do this. If not, we will hire medical writers, no worries. Okay, we are not expecting you to know everything, but we are expecting you to know what is ICHM4, what is the structure of an ECTD, how an ECTD is going to be completed. You may not know everything about ECTD Module 5 or Module 4 for clinical trials, but you may be in charge of completing an ECTD. Okay, so what you do is that you know what is the structure, what documents are needed. Now you may hire someone for 6 hours to complete this document, 2 hours for your document, but you need to now do the project management because you have 200 different documents. You need to ask 200 tasks from, I don't know, maybe 60 people or 50 people or less, and everything must be done within a month. These are the challenges that we don't teach you because you cannot know. You're just learning about regulations, guidelines, forms. We show you the documents, but we don't tell you how long does it take to make these documents. Now you know. Still stay in the program. It's a good program, I tell you. Very, very, yes. So, second one, comparative bioavailability and bioequivalence, if applicable. In vitro, in vivo correlation. These are all information that are written already. We send them to you. If not, you are going to deal with clinical research or medical affairs, or you are going to connect with the director of, I don't know, preclinical studies, and you're going to ask them to provide you with this information. Now, some drugs, they may not require all of these different information. It will depend on what we are going to decide on a kickoff meeting for a ECTD building. Or we are going to have the director of sales, VP of sales, VP of medical affairs, VP of reg affairs, sometimes the CEO, not always, and they're going to talk, and they're going to say, okay, for this type of study, this drug, what type of documentation we need. If we don't know, we are not sure, we are going to have a pre-submission meeting with FDA or with Health Canada. If you would like to go, if you are not sure, usually you should have asked Health Canada or FDA to have a pre-CTA or pre-IND meeting. So when we have those meetings with the regulatory authorities, at that time, we are going to decide what type of studies we are going to have in our submission. Okay, so it happens, it's decided few years before you start writing your EC. Good, perfect. So now I will, okay, oh my God, give me 5 minutes, I'm going to, if not, we can continue next week. Again, next week I'm going to go over the content as well, but if you need again, I told you, the way that I teach it is different. I teach it in a practical way. You can work tomorrow. It's just like job shadowing. It's not going over reading the cover. Okay, so I leave it here now, I close, and I'm going just to show you some, so just one document, just one statement, don't go anywhere. This one, population pharmacokinetic study. Okay, this is a document. There we talk about the pharmacokinetic special populations, what is that, states, elderly, what happens, children, assessors, comments, etc. This is just one document. Another one that I can show you. Is what it is. Is okay. We can have post-market experience. What does it mean? It is again in what we find. It means that your drug in Canada or in the US is new, but the drug has been in the market in other countries. So we are going to write a document which is called again the post-marketing or post-marketing experience, where we are going to write again based on the information that we have from other countries. We are going to just write down this kind of report to say, okay, this is how many patients per day, see no number of patients, how many in Canada, etc., etc. If anyone has been exposed at the clinical trial phase, usually they have been exposed because we have been testing the drug as well. what was the case or what were the issues to talk about. And then we just end up with some type of tabulated summaries. These are just risks. Santidex is an analog for cannabis, of course, but this is a simple cannabis that has been, this is being used as a drug. It's a medical, it's a medicine. So this is what we write down, and just if you have any questions, write that down, and then you fill it again. You write this, you convert it. Where is that? You convert this document into PDF. The final one, you review the PDF for any conversion issues, typos, and then you will now drag. Where is my here? And drag the PDF and drop it to the right one. So this is in a nutshell what you will be doing for preparing an ECT. So I'm going to stop, of course, the recording. Thank you so much again for your attendance today, and I'm going to respond to your questions. So again, let me just stop this. Thank you so much. Thank you.